What's up, my brothers? Before we get into this video, the topic's going to be on value. I know the elephant in the room is, what are you driving, Rich? The R8 is at the shop. A lady backed into it, so this is my loaner. It is a lovely Audi Q3. Actually, it's boring as hell, but I'm driving it, so why not put the miles in that instead of the S5? Anyway, today's topic is on value. It's incumbent upon men to create value in their lives and for women to protect their value as a female. Men value love, whereas women love value. Kind of, contrasting in that sense. So what are we talking about here? Actually, the origin of this video, because I was thinking about doing this on the drive into the office today, was a broadcast I did with Aaron Cleary a couple weeks ago and before the train wreck. I brought him in as a filler because Sean was off. And the topic was really the whole debate around training women. And I'd proposed around the 47-minute mark of that video, and I'll cue it up with the card up on the top right, that it would be easier, and Aaron agreed with me on this, that it would be easier in today's world for a man to, with all the tools, resources, and information we have access to, literally at our fingertips with a cell phone, to go and create a business, a product or service, or information product that would make you $1 million. That, in my estimation, is easier than trying to vet through all the noise, the riffraff, the potential personality disorders, the huge notch counts, all kinds of basic problems. Not even to mention the risk of getting involved, or the risk itself of having family law get involved in your life and deciding what happens to your assets, or if you have kids, things like that. So the whole point is the ROI is considerably greater to men today to chase excellence than it is to chase women. I'm going to say that again. The ROI, the return on investment for men today is greater, but a lot of guys are going to disagree with me on this, I know. They're going to point, sputter, and say, you don't know what you're talking about, Rich. It is very hard to make $1 million. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, hear me out. Just watch the whole video. It's easier in this environment today, with the easy access we have to information, technology, the way that we have online e-commerce stores, and all these sorts of things today, to build a business that creates value in the world, some kind of problem that you solve, something that you're world class at, something you can put a dent in the universe in, and make $1 million selling that product or service, than it is to go through the piles and piles of nonsense and riffraff when it comes to, vetting women on the sexual marketplace. Guys are always asking me, how do I get the girls? It's one of the long-standing running jokes that Aaron and I have is, how do I get the girls? People always call in and ask, how do I get the girls? You're asking the wrong question, right? The question really should be is, how do I create more value in my life? How do I create more value in the lives of others? Because when you're doing that, you're going to be making more money. You're obviously going to be charging for it because you're world class at something, I would imagine. You've done that, or you've gotten to that part. Of course, you're going to get the girls. The girls are going to come for you once you've established yourself as a man of vision and purpose and success. I always tell guys, stop chasing, ladies. I'll get video topic recommendations on the community tab of my channel saying, I'm this guy, and then he'll insert some sort of victim mindset. I came from this family background, this upbringing, this minor disability, this whatever it is, this religious cult, this country, I'm not tall enough, I'm too short, I'm too fat, I'm too skinny. Whatever the insert victim mindset is, how would you recommend a guy like that get girls, right? And my answer is always going to be the same. Chase excellence, not women. You go and do something of significance and purpose, something of vision. Women love a man of vision. They hate lazy, incompetent, slow men that point and sputter at the world and complain about things not being fair. Women can do that. Women just have to show up and look beautiful. Remember how I said earlier on in this video that women must preserve their value? A female's value is essentially her beauty, her femininity. These women that have, triple-digit notch counts in today's world into their 30s, and then they're thinking that they're going to settle down and find a good guy and start a family. Sorry. You're damaged goods. We've seen the stats. We know that women have a much harder time pair bonding in a monogamous long-term fashion with a guy with high notch counts, especially when they were much younger, when they lost their virginity. Women's job is to preserve their value, to preserve that component of their life. That is their value on the sexual marketplace to men. Men, on the other hand, must create it. We're not born, we're made, whereas women are just born. They just have to show up and look pretty. They have to preserve that beauty. They have to preserve that value that they bring to the sexual marketplace. And so many people, I can't believe the amount of people that point and sputter at this still to this very day. Women can do anything men can do, blah, 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 blah. Okay, go. Honestly, ladies, go for it. Go be an astronaut, be a CEO, but don't expect to have a great interaction with men, strong, virtuous alpha men on the sexual marketplace. If you're going through 10 years of university and trying to fight and climb the corporate ladder and expect some guy to want to wife you up when you're 41 and your eggs are all dried up, it's just not going to happen. The value that you got to preserve is your femininity. It's your beauty. Men during that time need to create value. We're utterly useless. Men are utterly have no value whatsoever unless they've got alpha stud genes in them, sort of thing. The 21-year-old dude, yeah, no problem for him. But for the average guy, you got a lot of work to do, man. You got to lay some groundwork. You got to figure yourself out. You got to understand the way the world works. You got to figure out how to solve problems. You have to be competent. A lot of guys, they don't care about developing competency skills. Most guys, if I asked them to change a tire, they wouldn't be able to do it. You ask a guy to use like a simple plumbing tool to tighten a loose fixture, they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't be able to unclog a drain or even a toilet. Most guys don't have the basic competency skills, and that's just 101 stuff. Women don't even care about that. It's kind of expected that you've got that know-how and that knowledge, that you know where to put the oil in the engine, right? You get the washer fill cap, you get the engine fill cap. Women kind of expect that you have the competency skills to determine and distinguish which one goes in which. But there's always some Muppets out there that can't do that. Value is incredibly important for men to understand, and women too, by the same regard, because the problem with this toxic version of feminism today is it's trying to teach women to be like men. Or it's trying to teach women that they can be like men, but all they end up doing is just becoming terrible men, terrible versions of men, unattractive versions of women that most guys don't want a whole lot to do with. So I just want to have that basic conversation about value, how it's created, and the difference between a value for men versus for women, because it is extremely different. You have to understand those different dynamics and those different concepts there.